Welcome back, traders, to another installment of xauusd trading strategy weekly highs and lows technical analysis. Now this is going to be in preparation for a week commencing Monday the 28th of October. So the idea behind this concept is just to give us a bit of an idea as to how we should behave in the market, okay, for a week moving forward, and as well as preparing for opportunities that may present itself to make sure that obviously we're able to capitalize on it. All right, so with that covered, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification, and drop us a like. So now let's just get straight into it, right? So on the Thursday, I did a video where I talked about the position that I had taken in gold, right? And I was in this area, right? Let me make this black. So I was in this area over here, and I had my stop down here, okay? And during the making of the video, I identified what looked at the time to be a head and shoulders, right? So just to give you a quick recap on that, so this is what I saw when I was making the video, right? I saw this and I literally spotted that as I was making the video, right? So B was on this part, and obviously the shoulder did appear, but then market then obviously shot up and took out this level over here, right? And took out this swing high over here. So with that in mind, what basically I did at the end of the recording is I jumped out of my trade. So I jumped out, I took a small loss, and that was that. And I didn't get back into the market on Friday at all. So all of this I missed. I didn't participate in that at all, okay? Because of what I saw, I thought there was a high probability the market was going to move against me, and I jumped out early. Better to be cautious than obviously to get the slap. And getting a slap in the market is something that obviously nobody likes and nobody wants. So naturally, I did what I thought was best at the time. I don't regret jumping out of the market, in all fairness, because even if I had stayed, right, obviously profit is profit, right? Profit is profit. But this is all that I would have gotten. Say from about here to here. So in all fairness, was it a righteous move to jump out of the market? Absolutely, in my opinion. I mean, so obviously I did that, so I must stand on that, right? So that was that. So everything we're gonna do now is in preparation for Monday or that week in question. So let's get rid of all of these for now, right? Because all of these are now out the way. We're gonna keep this channel where it is, and I think in all fairness we kind of got what we're after. So what we're gonna do now is, first things first, we're going to locate weekly highs and weekly lows right now, right? Because that's important. Let's get that all locked in. So that's the weekly high there, and that's the weekly low. Like I said in last week's video, I was very confident that we would not get a low this week that went below this one, and it was going to be a tight weekly high, weekly low setup, as we can see here. Let me just assign the labels to that so that it really pops. And let's make this black. Okay, so we now have a new weekly low and a weekly high, and how this looks. So we still kind of have a head and shoulders in this area, okay? But let's just play it safe and let's just call this a range. It's very similar to what a range would look like, okay? So it's not exactly dead on, but it does have that range feel to it, right? So I would say this is more or less a bit of a range, right, that we're in right now. Let me just put see where that range level would be. So this is the bottom of that range, and then we have the top of that range, which is about here somewhere. Let's just say that's that range. So this is the range that we're in. So that is the range that we are in at the moment. We have the weekly low down here, and we have the weekly high up here. Okay, in this area we have a bearish FVG in this level right now, where price could reject from, and this is all in preparation for next week, Monday. So we have an FVG right here. Let's drag that across, and we're gonna make this, let's change the color a bit, let's make it black. Okay, yep. So we have this FVG in this area right now. Price is in there as we speak. It could actually reject, and then at the same time, if price rejects from this level over here, which is I'm gonna highlight, we could have price come into this zone right here, which is another FVG that we need to keep our eye on, right? So as it stands, this is how it looks. So we could get something like this, in all fairness. We could get something like this from the beginning of the week. Okay, let's get rid of that. Okay, so we could get something like this from week commencing the 28th. We could get that. It could blast up, right? Let me just put this over here. Okay, so it could either blast up in this zone, so just come back and just shoot off, or it could do something like this and then come back down again to revisit one of these levels. So as it stands, from what I can see right now, right, based on what market is doing, the first thing that I would want to identify for the Monday coming is to see if either the weekly high or the weekly low is taken out. So if the weekly high is taken out, okay, I'll be looking for moves in the corresponding directions. So I'll be looking for buys. And if the weekly low is taken out, I'll be looking for moves in the downward direction, looking for sells or shorts, right? So that's kind of what we have at the moment in this area right now. That's how it appears to me. I can't really see anything else that maybe, wait, we got a little something over here. And you know what, in all fairness, I actually missed this one. I literally missed this one. Look at this one right here. Unbelievable. I actually missed that. I literally missed that. Unbelievable. But yeah, anyways, I've seen it now, right? Okay, so yeah, so I wish I had seen that, because I jumped out straight after the video. What was the time? 9 in the morning. This was 10 o'clock. I should have seen this one over here. I really should have seen this one over here. But anyways, such is life. We can't spot everything as it appears in the market. But this is how it stands to me at the moment. So let me just draw out the key levels of interest. A possible rejection at this level. This is the level that we need taken out, which is the weekly high up here. Okay. And this is the FVG that we could get. The bearish FVG that could reject price and send price downwards. We have another FVG in the middle. So the levels that we are talking about, especially in regards to the zone of the FVG. So the zone of the FVG itself, on the top side, we're looking at 2749.41. And then on the lower end of that FVG, we're looking at 2744.11. Right, so that is this little zone right here. Okay, the second zone over here, which is also of interest, these will be 2736.69. That's the high side of this bullish FVG, and the low side of that is 2732.33. Okay, so we could get price visit those areas, and on your charts, if you haven't done so already, I strongly recommend you mark out these areas, okay, just in case price gets in there. All right, so how would I play this? Right? So how I would play this, I would do something like this, okay? And remember, this is also risky, right? So once again, not a financial advisor giving you financial advice. This is purely my opinion based on how I would play it, right? On week commencing Monday the 28th. So what I would do, since price is already in this zone already, I would put a sell at this level right here, right? This will be a pending order. So we're looking at the region of 2743.40, right? So this is where I would put my first sell, right? So I will put my stop for this particular trade in the middle of this FVG. So the bottom of this wick is where I would put my stop. And that level would be 2734.45. Okay, so entry up here, let me make this blue. TP over here, let's make this green. If I can find green, right? And the stop for this trade I would put above this level right here. And I'll tell you why in a minute. So I will put my stop right here. And we're gonna make this one red. And the reason why I will put my stop in this area right here is because we have a bearish FVG right here. Right? So what could happen? So what could happen as we are all focused on the FVGs below is that price could continue on its path into this zone right here. If it peaks above it, we're out, okay? But bottom line is, if it keeps going in the direction that it's going in and you have your pending sell right under here, chances are it won't trigger until it's returning back down again, right? Now you could say, why put my TP at this level? Because this is more or less a 1-to-1. It's just a little bit over 1-to-1 in the sense that the stop is a little bit bigger than the profits in the middle, right? So you could turn around and you could say, do you know what? You believe that price is going to come down to this level right here, okay? It's going to come down to this zone right here, all right? So at which point you could then bring your TP not into the wicks itself, but target the body of these candles over here, right? So this is the bottom end of the body. So we'll move this and we'll put this about here, okay? And that would be our TP if you wanted to do it in that way. How I would do it is I will just basically cover the weekly high. I'll just be slightly above the weekly high, and I'll move that over here. If I was to target this whole zone in the way that it is right now, I would definitely have my stop above the weekly high. So that's how I would basically do it, okay? Now bearing in mind, this is going to be a very short trade in terms of what you could actually get if you remain a little bit patient. And what do I mean by that? What I basically mean is, at the moment, as it stands right now, okay, we can see that price is consolidating in this area. It is taking orders, right? It needs to make a decision what direction it's going to move in. So you could go with everything I've just said just now, okay, right? Or you could go with what I actually plan to do. And what I plan to do is this. I want to see one of these levels taken out, okay? I want to see one of these levels taken out. I want to see that what type of candle takes out one of these levels, and based on that I will join it. If it closes a strong close above this level, I would know that it's left the range and is going back into a trend, and I would join the market in that way. Say if the same thing was to happen down here, that is exactly the same kind of path that I would take. I would literally join it based on how strong the candle is as it blasts through. If it creates an FVG as it's moving downwards, what I would do is my first action will be to do a straight market buy in, okay, and give myself a wide stop. Then I'll target an area to see if there is an FVG. If there is an FVG, a bearish FVG or a bullish FVG, I will then put a pending order targeting those zones should price return back into those areas, and then ride it in the direction that price wants to move in, right? That is how I would do it. So right about now, you should be seeing two thumbs, right? So one of them will be on backtesting and the other will be on the previous video to this one. So make sure you go check them out, and I will see you all on the next one.